Some truths do not shout. They arrive like a pulse under the skin, quiet, steady, refusing to go away even if you're busy, numb, or afraid. If you have felt that pulse and didn't know what to call it, well, this talk is for you. I'm Mark Roach. Welcome to Transcendent, my platform to help you be authentic and, if you like, to find your uniqueness and your essence. My perspective may be uncomfortable. It was shaped by a twisted journey around the world, a wide spectrum of experiences, the highs and lows as most people in the U.S. would define them. This channel exists to inspire common people to find their power and place their uniqueness into their lives. My life has been a research lab. I've studied with mystics and healers. I've been mentored in business and athletics by the rich and famous. I began this channel speaking to those with PTSD and complex PTSD, but life taught me something simple and hard. Everyone suffers. Some wounds stay hidden or they bloom late, and that's still real. This channel is for everyone who is human, especially for those tired of inherited patterns, those ready to find uniqueness, your uniqueness, and connect with your spirit. The part of you that cannot be replicated by artificial intelligence and refuses to force, it refuses to bow to violence or domination. Today we walk into an old doorway with a different key. The Gospel of Thomas, not a narrative about a Savior's life, but a collection of sayings, short lines, sharp edges, a mirror more than a map. It claims to be the secret sayings of Jesus recorded by Didymus Judas Thomas. Whether you see it as a sacred text or early Christian wisdom or a window into a lost conversation, it carries a challenge that feels modern. It calls to you to wake up to what may be already yours. One of its opening lines sets the tone. Jesus said, quote, "Whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not taste death," end quote. Well, let's slow that down. Interpretation means how you live, what you understand. Not a puzzle key, a lived key. And to not taste death points to something deeper than biology. To taste is to experience. To not taste death is to know a life that fear cannot swallow. In other words, if you embody these insights, your core self will not be trapped in the small story of fear, shame, and status. You will be alive in a way that survives loss and change. Another early saying lands like a lightning strike. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Well, this is a personal transformation in one breath. Bring forth means express, embody, and act. It is your essence moving from potential to practice. Save means integrate your life so that your pain, your gifts, your shadow, your history all serve wholeness. Destroy, well, that means the energy that you refuse to face turns against you. We see this everywhere. The unspoken grief that becomes rage, the repressed talent that turns to envy, the ignored body that turns into burnout. Thomas insists there is something in you that must be brought out, not someday, now, not perfectly, but honestly. Thomas is strange compared to traditional Christian teachings that many of us learn. You know, he doesn't talk about the cross narrative, no resurrection scenes, no miracles explained, no sermons on a mount with crowds in order, no Last Supper table set. The famous stories are missing. Instead, we get these gnomic sayings like cones, That's Koans. A koan is a paradox that breaks your normal logic so a deeper insight can enter. Thomas did that. It resets tidy answers and oversimplistic thinking, or thinking altogether. That's the transcendence. If it asks you to change the way that you see things, there is a line that captures the whole move. The kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you. If you heard only the first half, you might drift into pure individualism, all inside, private spirituality. If you heard only the second half, you might chase externals, institutions, rules, applause. The saying refuses the split. Inside and mirrors, inside and outside are mirrors. What you see depends on who is looking and how awake they are. When your inner life is aligned, the outer world reads differently. Beauty shows up in common places. Justice becomes personal. Compassion is not a performance, it's a reflex. Traditional church models often lean on meditation, a priest, a system, a sacrament administered to you. Thomas leans on immediacy. It pushes you to direct seeing, direct knowing, not anti-community, not anti-ritual, but the emphasis is stark. You cannot outsource your awakening. You can be guided. You can be held. You cannot be replaced. Let's take a famous line and sit with it. If your leaders say to you, look, the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds will precede you. If they say it is in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside you and outside you. You can hear the humor. If heaven is somewhere far, birds and fish get there first. In plain talk, stop outsourcing your life to elsewhere. The sacred is not far, it is near. Near means available. It does not mean easy. Near means the door is in your own house, not across the ocean. This leads to a theme Thomas loves. Seeing Jesus said, know what is in front of your face, and what is hidden from you will be revealed to you. Seeing is a practice. Practice means you do it often and on purpose until it becomes natural. We think we see, we mostly recognize, we name quickly and stop looking. Thomas says, look longer. Look without the script that says who you must be to be loved. Look without the fear that your worth can be revoked. When you know what is in front of your face, when you can tell the truth about the moment you are in, what is hidden shows itself. The next step appears after you stand in the step you are actually on. Another line pushes the paradox further. Split a piece of wood and I am there. Lift up the stone and you will find me there. This collapses the divide between the sacred and ordinary. It says the presence you seek is embedded in matter, in motion, in work, in the ordinary acts that build a life. The spiritual is not a vacation from the real. It is a deeper intimacy with the real. Now let's talk about self-knowledge, because Thomas is unapologetic. When you know yourself, or he says, when you know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, then you dwell in poverty, and you are poverty. Hardline, poverty here is not a shaming word. It is a diagnosis of disconnection. To know yourself is not to memorize a personality type. It's to meet the the unedited you and to stay with that meeting long enough to become honest, kind, and free. Honest because you stop lying to protect an image. Kind because you see your fear and do not punish it. Free because the approval of strangers loses its grip. Compare this to a common reading of traditional Christianity that centers on original sin and substitution. You are broken, and only external transaction can fix you. Thomas is not denying brokenness. It reframes the path. Awakening starts with knowing yourself, and in that knowing, you discover your source, your kinship with the living. Salvation is here, not only a future rescue, it is present recognition. Rescue and recognition are not enemies. They can be two lights in the same room, but Thomas demands that you turn the light on now. Let's sit with one of the most bracing lines. If you do not fast from the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not make the Sabbath a Sabbath, you will not see the Father. Fasting from the world is not hating the world. It is stepping back from compulsions long enough to see them. A compulsion is a pattern you feel forced to repeat. Fast from constant outrage, fast from scrolling that numbs you, fast from pleasing that eases you. Then you can taste what is underneath the noise. The Sabbath, as Sabbath, means rest that is real, not collapse, not distraction. Rest that returns you to yourself. Thomas also speaks to fear and courage in a way that is painfully simple. Quote, "Whoever has come to know the world has found a corpse, and whoever has found a corpse is superior to the world." End quote. Corpse here shocks the ear. It's dramatic because sleep is stubborn. The point is not hatred of creation. The point is clarity. When you see that the status game is lifeless and that domination and performance cannot feed your soul, you stop bargaining with them. Superior here does not mean arrogant. It means free. Free to serve without being owned. Free to love without a price tag. There is an image about division that is crucial. Quote, "When you make the two into one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the upper like the lower, and when you make the male and the female into a single one, that the male will not be male, nor the female be female, then you will enter the kingdom." End quote. Now this is dense. Let's decode. Making two into one is integration. Integration means your parts talk to each other. Your outer life matches your inner life. Your actions match your values. Your feminine and masculine energies cooperate. Masculine here means directed, initiating, and focused. Feminine here means receptive, nurturing, and intuitive. Both live in all of us. Integration also means you stop dividing the world into sacred and secular, rich and poor, worthy and unworthy. You do not erase the difference, but you end the domination. You release the war inside. Now, is Thomas anti-church? No. It is anti-sleep. It challenges the reflex that says holiness is elsewhere and later. It says that the light is here and now, but you must learn to see it. And seeing costs you your illusions. Listen to this call. Seek and you will find. When you find, you will be troubled. When you are troubled, you will be astonished and will rule over the all. We often quote, "Seek and you will find," and stop there. Thomas does not stop. Finding troubles you. Why? Because the truth disturbs the false. Your mask fits less after you see your face. Your roles loosen. The family script groans. The tribe grumbles. This is not failure. That is birth. Troubled leads to astonished, and astonished here means awake wonder. Rule over the all does not mean domination. It means you're not ruled by the all. You are not owned by fear, status, or shame. Thomas keeps pulling you toward immediacy. His disciples said to him, "When will the kingdom come?" And Jesus said, "It will not come by watching for it. It will not be said, 'Look here' or 'Look there.' Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and people do not see it." Spread out means everywhere, not hidden by distance, hidden by habit. The practice is to break the habit and train new eyes. And let's address a tension that many hold. Traditional Christianity often centers on faith in Christ's death and resurrection as the hinge of salvation. It offers sacraments, a creed, a community. It speaks in public events. Thomas centers on the Christ voice within, on recognition and practice. It speaks in personal events. Does one cancel the other? Well, they can be held as layers, outer story and inner story, rituals and realization. The danger is when we keep one and neglect the other. Ritual without realization becomes hollow. Realization without community becomes fragile. Wholeness wants both. If you live with trauma, this hits close. The line, quote, "If you bring forth what is within you, you can feel the pressure if you hold pain you did not choose." Well, let's name that. Bring forth is not dumping raw pain into the world. It is meeting what is within you and letting it mature into presence, into boundaries, into truth. For trauma, this includes safety, therapy, support, and time. Time is not delay. Time is environment. You do not force a seed open. You give it soil, water, darkness, and light. Then the seed does the rest. Your essence is like that. It knows how to grow toward light when the conditions are kind. Thomas gives practical images for practice. Light and lamp. There is a light within a person of light, and it lights up the whole world. If they do not shine, they're darkness. A lamp is not useful under a basket. The image shows up in other gospels too. In daily life, shining means telling the truth with compassion when silence protects harm. It means create the art you keep delaying. It means say yes to the practice that steadies you. Breathwork, prayer, movement, stillness. It means to say no to what steals your soul. Let's pull in another short, challenging line. Be passerby. It doesn't say passive, it says passerby. What does that mean? It means do your work in the world, love deeply, serve boldly, but travel light. Do not set up your throne on a road. Every container is temporary. Your identities are tools, not cages. Passerbys do not drift. They move with intention. They know they're on their way. Another image Thomas uses is hunger and satisfaction. Quote, "Whoever is near me is near the fire, and whoever is far from me is far from the kingdom," end quote. Fire warms and transforms. If you have stood near a controlled fire, you know two things. It comforts. It also demands respect. Near the fire of presence, your numbness melts, but also your excuses. You cannot stay exactly the same. The parts of you that prefer comfort over integrity will try to back up. This is normal. Step in again, small steps, consistent steps. Let's contrast this with a classic sermon you may have heard. believe the right doctrines, attend the right services, obey the right rules, you are safe. Thomas says, see, know, integrate, do the right practices, live the questions, let the rules turn into virtues inside of you. Then your actions arise from who you are, not from fear of punishment. The fruit of this is not smugness. It is quiet strength. We should be honest about history. The Gospel of Thomas did not make it into the canon that most churches read. It survived in Coptic and Greek fragments found in the mid-20th century near Nag Hammadi. Some sayings overlap with Matthew, Mark, and Luke, others do not. Scholars debate its date and its sources, and yet even with the debate, many find Thomas a voice that feels both ancient and fresh. It invites you to responsibility, to direct contact, to an experience of the sacred that does not need permission. This is a line that sounds harsh to modern ears. Let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will be troubled, and he will marvel, and he will reign over all. We touched on this before, but sit with the ark. Seek, find, trouble, marvel, reign. That's a psychology of growth. Seek is curiosity, find is insight, trouble is disorientation, marvel is integration, reign is mastery. Mastery here means you can hold your inner weather without being thrown by every storm. If you live with complex PTSD, you know hyperarousal and collapse. This path is about building capacity to feel and to stay. Regulation is not stoicism. It is compassion, structures in your nervous system built through practice. Practice can be simple. Notice your breath for 3 minutes. Count 4 on the inhale, 6 on the exhale. This lengthens your exhale, signals safety, and lets your body step down from the ledge. Do this before a hard talk. Do this when you wake. Do this when you go to bed at night. Then ask yourself one Thomas question. What is in front of my face? Not your memory of it, not your expectation. What is the texture of this moment? Naming sensory data can help. Feet on the floor, air on the skin, sounds in the room. Then ask, what is within me that wants to be brought forth today? A line of a poem, a boundary, a phone call, a 5-minute walk. Make it small, make it real. This is also like the theme of childlike seeing. Quote, old man will not hesitate to ask a small child of 7 days concerning the place of life, and he will live, end quote. The image is bold. Why a 7-day-old child? A newborn stands for original seeing, before roles, before persona. Persona is the mask you wear to meet the world, necessary, but not ultimate. The saying invites humility. Go back to a mind that can marvel. Beginner's mind is not ignorance. It is openness. Thomas speaks about aloneness in a way that is misunderstood. Blessed are the solitary and the elect, for you will find the kingdom. For you are from it, and to it you will return. Solitary here is not isolation. It is not ghosting your people. It's the capacity to stand in your own center, even in a crowd, when you can be solitary in that way. You can connect without losing yourself. Elect here is not elitism. It is those who choose and are choosing. Choice is the engine of transformation. You step toward that, what matters again and again. Let's return to the contrast with traditional teachings. The canonical Gospels emphasize repentance, forgiveness, and following Jesus on a path that includes suffering love. Thomas does not talk about atonement or church structure. It centers on the wisdom teacher whose goal is to awaken you now. Is that the same Jesus? The question can be held with reverence and curiosity. If the Christ is a voice calling you into full humanity, maybe the texts stand like two lenses. One shows you a path of love and history. The other shows you a path of light in your interior life. Together, they deepen focus. Alone, each can distort. With both, you get relief and responsibility. That's a line you can that can help rewire shame. If you do not stand in the present, you will not know the all. Well, shame lives in past traps. Anxiety lives in future traps. Presence breaks both. Standing in the present does not mean dismissing your past or ignoring your future. It means meeting them in the now, from now. You bring compassion to your past self. You bring clarity to your future choices. You stop letting ghosts and fantasies steer the car. A hard saying about family shows up too. Whoever does not hate father and mother as I do cannot be my disciple. Well, hate is a shock word, hyperbole. The point is priority. If you're constrained by family scripts, culture scripts, or any script that asks you to trade your soul for belonging, you will not walk this path far. Honor your parents, love your people, and refuse the pattern if it asks you to be false. This is not rebellion for drama. It is loyalty to your life. Thomas also teaches in images of clothing. When you strip without being ashamed, and when you take your garments and place them under your feet like children and trample them, you will see the Son of the Living One, and you will not be afraid. Well, garments are personas and protections. Strip here means lay down pretense, not literal exposure for shock. Without shame is the key. Shame is the glue that holds the mask to your face. When you can set the mask down, when you can feel the cool air of honesty on your skin, fear loses power. Now let's pause with the body. If you live with PTSD, your body is not just a vehicle. It's a neighborhood with a history. Practices that honor your body are not extra. They are central. Ground with the senses, cold water on risk, bare feet on grass, slow exhales, gentle movement, safe touches. These are doorways to the present. They're not small. They are the road. The Gospel of Thomas gives one more core idea about poverty and riches. The one who has will be given more, and the one who has not will be deprived even of what he has. Well, that can sound cruel. In context, has points to awareness. If you have awareness and practice it, your capacity grows. If you do not practice, your awareness fades. It is a nervous system truth. Use it or lose it. Attention grows what it touches. This is a sober invitation to train your seeing. How does this translate into modern life? 3 movements. First, attention. Decide what you feed. News cycles profit from outrage because outrage hijacks attention. Thomas asks you to take your attention back. Give attention to beauty, to truth, to service, to grief that needs company. Do not abandon the world. Hold the world in a larger light. Second, integration. Pick one place where your inside and outside differ. Maybe your job misuses your gift. Maybe your relationship avoids the truth. Maybe your art lives in drafts. Bring them closer. You do not need to blow up your life to be honest. You just need to take one honest next step. One, then the next. Third, community. While Thomas emphasizes direct seeing, do not do this alone. Find people who hold you into the truth without shaming you. A therapist, a circle, a practice, a group, a friend who will sit with you without trying to fix you. Healing accelerates in safe connection. There is also the power of small rituals. Light a candle when you read something that matters. Sit in silence for 2 minutes each morning and ask, what is the one thing to bring forth today? Write it, do it, keep the promise. Your nervous system learns to trust when you keep promises to yourself. Let me offer a short meditation drawn from Thomas, his themes. Sit upright. Let your shoulders drop. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. Do that 5 times. Feel your seat, your feet. Now ask, what is in front of my face? Name 3 things you can see, 3 sounds you can hear, 3 sensations that you can feel. Now ask, what is within me that wants to be brought forth? Let the first be honest, an honest answer that just comes. It might be a sentence, it might be a tear, it might be silence. Trust the small. The small is a gateway to the vast. Now, as we close, hear this thread of sayings as one voice. The kingdom is near. It is spread out. It lives in you and around you. You do not earn it. You awaken to it. You awaken by knowing yourself, by integrating your life, by practicing presence, by bringing forth what is within you. The old patterns will resist. The window will still open. Step through. If your leader says it is only later, smile and look at your own hands. If your fear says you cannot, breathe and try the next step. If your shame says you're not worthy, remember the light within a person of light lights up the whole world. That light is not rare. It is real, and it is here. I'm Mark Roach. This is Transcendent, wishing you all the best.